Hi there, Steve Kaufman here. Again, day 64. Let me just check here. Day 64. So a little over 26 days to go. What I want to talk about today is the fact that language learning is a personal thing. Unless you're enrolled in a class and you have to write an exam, but even then, hopefully it's your own decision to go there. It's very much a personal thing. We don't learn languages for other people. We learn them for ourselves. Now, there are exceptions. You may require a language for a job. You may require a language to become a citizen in a country. But even there, if you aren't doing it for yourself, you probably won't succeed. So I think it's very important that we learn languages for our own reasons, motives, and satisfaction. So that's the first point. So I'm enjoying my involvement in my Korean challenge, and my commitment in the challenge was to put more effort into language learning than I have been doing in the past, and to concentrate on one language. More or less, I have done that. The last 15-20 days I haven't been, that's my wife, by the way, playing in the background. She's getting better and better on the piano all the time. Last little while, ever since we went to San Diego, 5 days there, didn't do much. Then we have all these events in Ukraine, so I'm listening to a lot of Russian. So I haven't been applying myself quite as conscientiously to the Korean as I did in the first 20-30 days. But I am going to try to get back to it. Here again today, I had to go to a funeral. It was quite a drive out there. I'm finally back home. Tonight, the Canucks are on TV. I'm going to watch them again, so I don't know how much I'll get done today. But tomorrow, I'm going to definitely try to sock in 4 or 5 hours because I have this commitment to the challenge. And I think the commitment in the challenge is about trying to do more than we normally do. It's not a commitment that I will reach any particular level. Although I think I said at the beginning that I was hoping to reach a strong B1 level. Who knows? I've still got 25 days to go. Not that I actually remember what I said back then, but mostly the challenge is about everyone challenging themselves to do more. Because if you are more active with the language, you will improve. Now, there were some interesting comments to yesterday's video where I put up a video of myself talking to Ju Hyun. So I'm going to go over some of these and answer the questions. First of all, we have a comment here saying, very good, Steve, but you should be better because you are a language expert. No, I don't agree. I think it takes time to learn a language, and you just have to put in the time. And there's no should in language learning. Whatever I have achieved in Korean, that is what I can achieve given the amount of effort that I put into it, period. And other people may achieve more or less, and that's what they should achieve. There's no objective you should achieve. Then someone says, you've never conversed with a Korean guy, they're all girls. That's not true. In fact, I've conversed with more Korean guys, tutors at Link. However, the quality of the video, the Skype camera connection and the sound quality was best with Ju Hyun. Now, I'm going to be talking to a new male tutor at Link this Friday, and if the connections are good, then that's what I will put up as a video. Then we had a fellow here who said, you are just talking, Steve. You are not really having a conversation. I've noticed this behavior when you speak to people in Korean. You don't really engage the other person in conversation. You tend to just speak like an ongoing soliloquy, whereby you do all the talking, giving others little or no chance to respond to what you're saying. You do not engage the person. A conversation is a two-way exchange, is it not? You speak, the other person responds. You listen, then you respond. Blah, blah, blah. In other words, I should let the other person talk more. Well, and then another person came along and said, yes, I agree. I've noticed it before when you were at the dry cleaner, you did all the talking. And it's very important to have real conversations with people and so forth and so on. Okay. Yes, I tend to talk a lot. Second of all, as I said in one of my earlier videos, I understand what I'm saying much better than I understand what people are saying to me. I said that earlier. And so it's probably a bit of a defensive mechanism that when I have something that I know that I can say, I will say it. Once the Korean person starts talking, I'm not so sure I'm going to understand what they say. So it might be that. And as I explained in my comment in response to that first person, our instruction to a tutor at Link, when I tutor English, I feel that my job is to somehow induce that person to speak, because we do a lot of listening to content in our lessons, listening and reading. So this is an opportunity to speak. And the more I speak, the more I display my shortcomings. The tutor then makes notes of these and sends me a report, which I import into Link and study. So that is kind of our learning strategy. So what I put up there was a typical lesson at Link. But since there seems to be an interest in seeing whether or not I'm able to participate in more of a balanced conversation, I will make a point in my next interview of trying to make it more balanced and let that person speak more. I don't think, as was suggested here, that I deliberately interrupted the tutor. I've spoken to Ju Yun many, many times, and her strategy as a tutor is to get me to speak and just let me speak. She rarely interrupts me, she just lets me speak. However, I think what's important here is, a number of these comments were saying, you should do this, you should do that. I think that we learn languages for our own purposes. I don't know what I'm going to achieve in Korea, but already the fact that I have discovered this wonderful podcast, which I've mentioned so many times, by Kim Young-ha, the fact that I am enjoying these podcasts in Korean, that I've kind of partly understood and worked my way through 5 or 6 of them, and that there's a total of 53 in this series, and I'm having them all transcribed, and that I will continue to do those until the end of the 53 podcasts, and through this process, I will learn a great deal about world literature, a great deal about Kim Young-ha and how he thinks, and I will tremendously improve my Korean, at least my vocabulary and my ability to understand Korean. I think, from my experience, with that as a base, when I have the opportunity to speak more, I will also improve my speaking. But, I haven't, and it is also true that if I'm listening to something on a theme, or I have access to the transcript, and I listen to it, and following the sort of train of thought, it's easier to understand that. Then when you listen to someone who could say anything, and you're not familiar with, the way people react in a Korean back and forth conversation, so you basically don't understand. It's like I said when I was in that Korean restaurant, they said, 무슨 필요 있습니까? Do you need something? Even though I know the word 필요, like to need, I wasn't expecting that. I wasn't able to respond. I didn't understand it. So there is no question that if I were to spend, let's say, for the next 25 days, if I were to go down to the Korean Cultural Center and engage Korean people in conversations for 2 hours on a variety of subjects, that my ability to respond in conversations and to express myself would improve dramatically. However, I'm not going to do that because I have other things that I have to do. I can't find the time to do that. I have my hockey, I have my office, I have my family and social life and following the events in Ukraine and so forth. So mainly what I'm going to be able to do, what is easier for me to organize, is to continue studying Kim Young-ha's podcast because I find it enjoyable. And it's not obvious that I could find people to make conversation with me down at the Korean Cultural Center or whatever. But I will try to step up my conversations at Link. But, I think it's very important. I'm doing this because I enjoy it. Once I should do this or should be at this level, then it's no longer enjoyment, it's an obligation. And, I'm not in that position. I'm in the position of doing things that I enjoy doing. So, just thought I would comment on that. I think we don't need to put unnecessary burdens on ourselves. And we should try to focus, as I always say, focus on doing the things that we enjoy doing. And if we enjoy what we're doing, we have already achieved the goal. Thanks for listening.